Thanks to everyone for coming out tonight for Stone Soup as we march through a very, 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 very fucking hot summer. I was trying to say it without using an F-bomb, but I just walked 30 minutes in this hellstorm, and it seems still appropriate to swear. I appreciate everyone being here tonight. I hope you're keeping cool and surviving in the best possible ways. And I hope you're here tonight to bring poetry to the open mic. If you're here to just listen, let me know. But know a lot of you are here for, I know at least a lot of the regulars are here to read. So we're going to start with one of those, or at least the Ramninator 5000 will. I've inserted all the names. And our first person for tonight is going to be Rita Rusty Rose, all the way from Long Island.
Okay. I'm going to read a poem about a beautiful young woman that I had met years ago, a socialite. I think I read this before, but I'll read it again. And the poem is Staunch. You would have to be living in a ramshackle East Hampton mansion with a senior socialite, cats, raccoons, cobwebs, and vermin. Staunch. You would have to be to survive frigid winters, sweltering summers on the Atlantic Ocean till death do you part. Staunch. You would have to be to surrender ambitions of becoming an actress and singer, serving as caretaker to a flamboyant jazz age songbird, one eccentric socialite dedicated to the other. Staunch. You would have to be to tolerate strangers hiding behind trees and trampling privet, to take a look see at mother and daughter in self exile. Staunch. You must be to live in abject poverty, eating pet food as pate while Mother Dear holds court, wearing jewels worth thousands. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita, and thanks to everyone who came out tonight. Our feature, which I forgot to mention at the top of the hour, was is MP Carver, who is one of the masterminds behind the recent Massachusetts Poetry Festival that took place at the end of May. Author of several collections now, including one from Lily Poetry Press, which she'll be reading from tonight. Fantastic event host herself, and I am very excited to have her back to read after so long. I think the last time we she read for us, it was a live gathering, and hopefully it will be again as we move to September, where just as a personal point, I celebrate my 20th anniversary of hosting this shindig. So, want to do something very interesting in September. We'll see if it happens. And of course, there's the Boston Poetry Marathon, which at least one or a couple of us will be taking part in on August 16th and 17th. That's a Saturday and Sunday in August. Names are already being assembled, and tributes to recently passed poets and poets who passed away a few years ago that have collections coming out. It's going to be a lot of Fanny Howe is slated to have a very special tribute time for Saturday afternoon. And I don't know if we're going to be doing something for the late Andrea Gibson, but we'll be bringing that up in discussion. But we do have some new voices already slated to come in. We have some returning friends. Jim Burley's making his way back for the first time in a couple of years, and he's one of the ones who got this whole shindig going I think, over 20 years ago. So I'm very excited about that. Let's keep on going to the open mic. I'd like to bring up next Mr. Richard Spizak, self-proclaimed poet of Three Rivers.
Thank you so much. I have this little offering for you. You know, I was it was explained to me the other day that all this damn cheery poetry that I do, did I not realize that it's out of fashion? And a worse sin, oh my God, a far worse sin is that I'm known to rhyme. I'm a known rhymer. Well, my response was this. Maybe not succinct, but it was this. Well-intentioned, yet honest friends, I guess, hope to coax him from out this mess. This constant, wry, sarcastic humor steered him away from his great potential of sex. A doleful childhood estranged at birth instead of all this loathsome clunking mirth. Merrymaking. On top of that, how about you try to cry or perhaps wear an undertaker hat? Maybe a strange and melancholy, shiftless, black and soft-stepping cat. Poe had his raven, that's for sure, parked there above his chamber door. A bust of Pallas, maudlin, sure. But think on's, maybe one old Yorick skull, perhaps, or a heart a-thumping neath the wooden floorboard mat. But irony, merry wit, what the brighter writer's market first nighters to do with this? Your work not only rhymes, but does so many times within a line. Such wit. Oh my God, you should immediately quit. Not the sort of stuff we favor. So what if Herculean are your labors? We cannot take you any more serious than your humor, like, say, Jim Neighbors at the opera labored unrequited. This you must know despite how clearly it shows yet you're somehow delighted. You must muck about and moan and wail, and that's the way Ahab said we'll land the whale. And old Queequeg with his tattooed face knew exactly when he threw the bones what heaps of sorrow gained you space. And if you can't sneer the editor, he'll never enlarge you and be your debtor. Instead, in the margins, you'll be left all the better. You must give them sleepless nights. Tell tall tales of ghosties. Get it right. No more this joyous chuckles of yours. Really, you must try to scare them and freak them out. They're unprepared unless you sing a song of melancholy. Your skills they'll doubt. So don't worry. Tell tall tales of beatings that you once endured, and just how many countless nights brigands threaten your swords with your life. Hearty laughs? Leave them oddly puzzled. Afeared it is they'll check to see if it's their wine you've guzzled. And an optimist, my friends, the signs are weak. Can't thou not study how to scream, bitch, complain, and shriek? Far better wert thou a disgruntled fellow. That's the way thou shalt find thy success are doubled. The cacophonous riot of your rhymes unfriend your line so scant, no simple target to match by stately measure. And then you, unconventional three rhymes per line, doth mark itself an unwanted treasure, quite outside the formal, fickle, favored, savored, mournful chime. Canst thou not make more often a darkened alley? Canst thou thy hero self refine? Well, says I, as a callow youth, that I did haunt the darkened stair, the stony cell, the hangman threadbare, uncarpeted and gravelled lair. But struck me then at 13 or thereabouts that if all that's seen through a mask of gloom and doubt, thou might spend many a lonely fortnight outside love's jurisdiction, and there's the route, and that's no fiction. Would I not lonely, even unrequited sojourner remain, if I only kept time with sadness, and then so woeful cynic remain? Do not flowers bloom and flourish each and every spring, that they might stand courage, even if the cynic drives his cart and clumsy wheel o'ertop the heart? Where blossoms there the softest petal, only to crush and break? Pretty young wing, that's the mall mistake. Thank you, my friends.
From the poet of Three Rivers, thank you, Richard. Check out his work in Oddball Magazine, where he combines not so light verse and artwork, sometimes both at the same time. Let's see who we have next. Oh, yes, let's welcome one of our North Shore invaders. I am excited to have so many of them in the reading. That's the term I gave for anyone who is visiting up from North Shore, Salem, Beverly, what have you, back in the olden days at Stone Soup. Let's welcome up Tony Artuso.
Thank you very much, Chad. Appreciate it. I'm going to read Villanelle. It's entitled Norm Visits His Daughter Who is on the Autism Spectrum. Mariah, look who's here. Daddy's come to call, Norm says, but she flies past him to the den. She stops, pounding her head against the wall. Her aide and her father rush down the hall, try to end her self-abuse. He asks, stricken, Mariah, look, who's here? Daddy's come to call. Up for the only visit he can afford this fall. Desperate, Norm grabs her shoulder. Just then, she stops pounding her head against the wall. Norm proceeds with his plan, takes her to the mall. During the film, she sleeps. To wake her, he says again, Mariah, look who's here. Daddy's come to call. Back home, she twitches. Her tongue starts to loll. Seizure, Norm yells. The aide brings medicine. She stops pounding her head against the wall. Later, she lashes out, each fist a ball. Weary, Norm pleads, words fervent as amen. Mariah, look who's here. Daddy's come to call. She stops pounding her head against the wall. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Tony. A regular at Speak Up and other venues as well, like the Controverse in Malden. And incidentally, I hope some of you are going to be in Malden tomorrow because there is a special celebration of Jeff Taylor's life. Jeff Taylor, of course, a Stone Soup regular here, but also a founder of the Controverse open mic. Trying to find the original flyer that I shared the other day, but it's taking place, I believe, from 5:30 to 9 tomorrow in downtown Malden. Give me one sec. Here we go. Du-du-du. So it's taking place tomorrow on the 17th, which actually is Jeff Taylor's birthday. And it's taking place on the in Cottymore Park. That's Coytemore Park, Leah Park actually, Cottymore Leah Park, and it's also including an open mic, art, poetry, music. I'm sure Ethan Mackler, another one of our regulars, is going to be there as well. And don't miss it. If any of you have followed Jeff Taylor, especially online through the last few years, especially as COVID broke out, you'll know the contributions he made to the Zoom community and was starting to make again to the live poetry community. And he's going to be missed. Up next, I want to bring up Jan Rowe. Jan Rowe, are you ready? Part of the Black Seed Writers Group, and of course, a Stone Soup regular.
Um, Hi, I'm in another, it's like we do a quarterly. We submit, so it's not like we meet. But I want to read Maria Termini. She plays piano on Boston Calmer Brewers Fountain every Saturday. She has twins that are almost 60. And she organized a historical tour for us recently at the State House. It's called Oh Say How We Pay. Oh Say How We Pay in the USA for the health care we need in the land of the free. Congratulations, you are approved for this plan, but we'll be charged a late enrollment penalty. A separate bill will be mailed to you, and we will continually review your eligibility. since each year you have to be approved. Make sure you use only our network and stay in our formulary and service area. We have sent you in writing clear evidence of credible coverage, all in a 200-page booklet explaining benefits, details of your prescription plan and covered drugs. Details are also available in other languages with free interpreters on Tuesday mornings. You are responsible to find out exactly what it means to be a member. You need to understand what is covered and what is not, and no dental care. Teeth are not a part of your body. Your claim can always be denied because we feel like it. You will pay, that is, empty your pockets for what's not covered, high deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance, out-of-pocket expenses. You must follow our rules for special situations. Be sure to get prior approval for an accident ahead of time and watch out for restrictions in coverage, stages, lapses, and of course, you have rising premiums and rights. It's all clearly explained in the fine print. We love paperwork, and the more the better. You can file a grievance and appeal decisions in 30 calendar days except February, and maybe get an exception if you forget to, but you must always stay in our network. Monthly premiums are deducted automatically. Please make sure we have accurate, full information about you, your bank account, your credit cards, and any attachable assets so we can protect your privacy. We welcome suggestions, feedback, and complaints. Customer care is just an offshore 800 number away. Always carry your card with you and memorize your 38-digit account number, and don't forget when your membership ends. Meanwhile, say how we pay in the USA for the health care we need in the land of the free. That's Maria Termini. Speak neighbor. Okay, you got it on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jan. Someone who doesn't get a lot of time here, he is sometimes he has to leave earlier than before I can get him on. So I'm glad he is here early. He can read early. Let's welcome up Julian Matthews.
Hi, may I share screen?
Yes, just give me a moment. Sorry.
Okay. Um, got it. Thank you for having me. Uh, this for Andrea. The photo is by Coco Haramaki. You know how we throw spaghetti against the wall to see whether the pasta is done? Sometimes I think of you as that sacrificial strand. You fish yourself out of boiling water and fling yourself against the hardness of the world, and your words come out concrete and whole, plastered like a squiggle scar on each of our hearts. You said, in the end, I want my heart to be covered in stretch marks. Well, you left our hearts tattooed with your metaphors so unusual, so surprising, so Andrean that they tickled our pleasure hormones into surrender, made our eyes shine brighter. And on stage, we see the light coming out of your mouth and pointed finger like a deleted scene on E.T. And we are all Elliots on flying bikes trying to get you home. You once wished the dark masses the doctor scanned on your ovaries were alien implants, and how we all wished that too when we found out that somehow the aliens did it only to study you more closely than the other 8 billion of us humans, because you were the outworldly creature, the force of nature, the super terrestrial that spouted truth like silver bullets, that laser shot verses into adamantium hearts, that dropped mics at every performance like they were manna from some material entity. You self affirmed, you better be lightning, just before going in front of a hostile audience. Well, you were thunder as well. In fact, the whole storm, the whoosh of the wind, the uproar of rain, the rattle against our windows and doors, and even the calmness after. You were honest, raw, visceral, and vulnerable, the voice of a generation of generations to come. You doused us with your profound, generous rain in your disguise as a poet, when you really were a prophet, probably sent from above or below or everywhere in between or nowhere at all. You graced us fortunate souls to have lived in your same breath space and sealed our fractured hearts with your bolt of wit and wisdom, and we were hungry, hungry to be struck again and again by your compassion and hope for humanity. You were never terminal. You were just stuck between flights with time to kill. And I'm left wishing I could have bumped into you at the duty free just to say hello. And you smile that crooked smile and pull out a frozen icicle to soothe my swollen heart, and lean close and whisper in my ear, your wound is never going to be bigger than you are, buttwad. You're on your own, kiddo, but I got your back, so live, live, live. And you slowly pull away, waving on a level-hearted walker-later onto your next destination. Strangely enough, without any baggage. And I stand there holding on to your words like scripture, red-cheeked and dribbling on my boarding pass with my sacred flight number flickering on the screen, calling, calling, calling. And yours already says, departed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jillian. Good to have you back. I'd like to bring up next Jack Jar, who is going to be our feature for next week. Spoilers? Well, I would have posted the information tomorrow anyway. So, Jack, if you'd like to give us a little sample of what's happening for next week.
Okay, I will do my best. So this poem, or the poem that I'm going to read, has an epigraph from the Boston Globe. It does have a bad word in it, but since we are streaming live on Facebook, I won't say it. So, on February 23rd, 1973, the Boston Globe printed, quote, "It is almost 3 a.m. and the gay bars have closed and the FAGS and hookers and pimps and pushers roam the streets," end quote. And this poem is called Hotel. I've been shaking knee deep in the snow, trying to light a cigarette on the corner of Piedmont and Broadway, while a vague tension hums behind the aisles of snow and stern brick. This neighborhood is the kind you would call colorful. See the pink triangle in the second-story window, the blue cop car parked in front of Jacques, the green neon flicker in the sidewalk gutter, and everywhere red, the pulse and the light of the district. You're beautiful, baby. Let's get out of here. Do you want to dance? The ineffable sentences skitter and stumble over the ice. Someone mentioned an ocean yesterday, and a strange opacity descended over the conversation. What can I say? I've been on edge lately. I've been tired lately. Tired of being a man twice hidden. Tired of holding myself straight in the sunshine hours. Whenever I find myself, I need to be transported again. The cops raided the Moonflower. again. But don't worry, I know a place that's friendly. I know a place that's safe for now. You can't afford a room, but you can split one with me. And after we're done, you can read while I smoke and pretend that the slurred voices of the early morning drunks are really the voices of birds singing to the sun as it rises over the combat zone. That's the end. Thank you.
Fantastic. Jack Jower, next week's feature. There's more where that came from. I've been hearing Jack on the open mics at Speak Up. I'm gonna be excited, and other locations around the North Shore, and I'm excited for what comes next. The combat zone, to remember that term being tossed around. And let's see who we have next. I want to welcome up Mr. Mark States, direct from North Carolina.
Yes, good evening, everyone. In the darkness of human cruelty, the world is an endless scroll of injustices and intentional harm. What good is a keyboard or cell phone when confronted with a masked army of hooligans, when sides are barricaded within thought bubbles, when the badge of honor is talking down, not talking with? When home and community are faint whispers in a raging hurricane, an echo of a time long gone and paved over. I spend as much time as possible outdoors, away from humans, to stand with a bird and watch traffic go by, to look a squirrel in the eye and acknowledge our presence together in this space, attending to our needs for shade and satisfy our hungers. My hunger is for the moment of peace. No butterfly has ever done me harm as it ambles by in flight, minding its own business. I would walk outside more at night and dream along with the stars if it were not for the bites of mosquitoes. A star may be someone else's sun, yet even in its faintness here on earth, that star offers a glimpse of hope in the darkness of human cruelty. Breadcrumbs in the mystery hunt for understanding.
Thank you, Mark. And let's welcome back Jackie Oldham from Baltimore. Oh, Jackie? She might be indisposed at the moment. So let's go to Mr. Edward S. Galt.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to read a piece here, which is going to be published later this summer in American Graveyard by Marissa Prada of Red and Green Books. And some version of this story, some version of this poem I had written years ago, and I've kind of reinvented it to fit this publication. American Graveyard is a publication that deals with the children killed in shootings. So that's what the main theme is, gun violence against children. And this is the poem. It's called Sydney. Sydney. I've never written to someone I don't know. I didn't even know who you were until the other day when you walked into the schoolyard to shoot our boy and 7 others. You weren't from our town. You didn't even know them. So why? I would like to tell you just a little of our son Tim, so you will know who you took away from us. One of my best memories with him was when he was 9. We went fishing. I taught him how to bait his line. I'll never forget the look on his face when he pulled in his first fish. He loved scouting and had a board of knots he had tied displayed in his room. He reached first class. I know he would have reached Eagle. He was bright, tutoring his classmates in math, and I would have liked to have had been at his graduation. All that is over now. You ended it. The other children had stories too. Their families could tell you. We will all tell you when we see you in court. The prosecutor expects that you will get life. You will never marry. You will never have a boy like Tim. You won't take them fishing. You won't be there at their birthday. You won't even see them graduate. I want you to think about that day after day, year after year, while you serve your life in prison, because that is the sentence I am serving now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. And look for American Graveyard. It's actually American Graveyard 2. The first American Graveyard anthology came out, I think, a year ago or more from Marissa Prada and Red or Green Books. I'll be making all sorts of announcements about it on the Snowsuit page when it comes out. Up next, I'd like to welcome up Anna G, if she's available.
Yeah, I'm here. Can folks hear me okay? Excellent, wonderful. I'm using the mic on my laptop, so I got a short and sweet one for you. The title is Unreality. All of reality is 5 little piggies on the right hand. All of her galaxy is the lights on the skyline. All of the world doesn't fit on this timeline, broken like marble, riddled with fault lines falling. She isn't meant to be in the space of her body. In the time of her trials, she floats when she's fucking, wondering if this is the spot she traded places with, giving birth to all of reality. 5 little piggies, fresh from the womb, already toddler fat, the lines on the back of her hand, suddenly the hand of a woman, the dent in the ring finger of her left hand, palm resting on the surface of warm water, on his chest, breathing.
Anna Jeffrey, we'll see you tomorrow as well at the Malden Tribute. I'd love to ask if Jackie Oldman's able to join us now. Oh,
She has low bandwidth.
I guess so. It's weird I can't hear her. All right, I'll keep on checking. I'll keep on checking as we go. Who do we want to go to next? Robert Fleming. We have to meet our quota of visual poets from Delaware. And luckily we have one. Robert Fleming from Delaware.
Thank you, Chad. And tonight I'm going to be offering another cold reading for the Stone Soup players. About 2 weeks ago, we did a reading from the movie Taxi Driver, which was released in 1976, directed by Martin Scorsese and written by Paul Schrader. I will show the scene that we did last week and what we're going to do tonight. On the screen now was the movie flyer. 2 weeks ago, we did the scene where the protagonist Travis asks Betsy for a date, and she agrees to that date. Here they are walking on the street, and tonight they are at a diner having their date. 2 scenes for that. And tonight we have two characters. We have Travis, who is the taxi driver, and Betsy, who is his date. And I asked for 2 volunteers from the Zoom room to read those characters tonight. Do I have any volunteers tonight? Timothy, which character would you like to read, Timothy?
I'll read whichever one's left over.
Okay.
I was doing Travis last time, Robert. I can do Travis again.
Okay, wonderful. So I will put the on the screen the original script. And at the beginning of the script, they do have one paragraph about Travis's attitudes towards sex, which would impact his dating. I will just read that one paragraph, and then we will go to the reading. Travis has the smell of sex about him, sick sex, repressed sex, lonely sex, but sex nonetheless. He is a raw male force driving forward toward what one cannot tell. Then one looks closer and sees the inevitable. The clock sprig cannot be wound continually tighter. As the earth moves towards the sun, Travis Bickle moves towards violence. So now we will move towards the scene, which starts on page 30. Okay. And here we go. Travis is pacing back and forth on Broadway, just beyond the Palatine headquarters. He checks his watch.
April 26, 1972, 4 o'clock p.m. Took Betsy to the Mayfair coffee shop on Broadway.
Travis and Betsy are sitting in a booth of a small New York coffee shop. They both have been served coffee. Travis is nervously turning his cup around in his hands. As Travis speaks, the waitress brings their orders: apple pie for Travis, fruit compote for Betsy.
Had black coffee and apple pie with a slice of melted yellow cheese. I think that was a good selection. Betsy had coffee and a fruit salad dish. She could have had anything she wanted.
We've signed up 15,000 Palant. This is very small. Can you make the screen bigger? We've signed up 15,000 Palatine volunteers in New York so far. The organization problems are becoming just staggering.
I know what you mean. I've got the same problem. I just can't get things organized. Little things. I mean, like my room, my possessions. I should get one of those signs that says, one of these days I'm going to get organized.
Travis contorts his mouth to match his mispronunciation that breaks into a big, friendly, infectious grin. The very sight of it makes one's heart pound. Betsy cannot help but be caught up in Travis's grin. Travis's contagious quicksilver mood cause.
Travis, I've never met anyone like you before.
I can believe that.
Where do you live?
Oh, uptown, some joint, it ain't much.
So why did you decide to drive a taxi at night?
Had a regular job for a while, days, doing this, doing that, but I didn't have anything to do at night. I got kind of lonely, just wandering around, so I decided to work nights. It ain't good to be alone.
After this job, I'm looking forward to being alone for a while.
I know what you mean. I've got the same. Oh, I can't get things. Oh, well, sorry. Okay. Yeah, well, in a cab, you get to meet people. You meet lots of people. It's good for you.
What kind of people?
Just people, just people. Had a dead man once.
Really?
He'd been shot. I didn't know that. He just crawled in the back seat, said West 45th Street, and conked out.
What did you do?
I shut the meter off for one thing. I knew I wasn't going to get paid. Then I stopped him off at the cop shop. They took him.
That's really something.
Oh, you see lots of freaky stuff in a cab, especially when the moon's out.
The moon?
Full moon. One night I had 3 or 4 weirdos in a row, and I looked up, and sure enough, there it was, the full moon. Oh yeah, people do anything in front of a taxi driver. I mean, anything. People too cheap to rent a hotel room, people scoring dope, people shooting up, people want to embarrass you. It's like you're not even there, not even a person. Nobody knows you.
Come on, Travis. It's not that bad. I take a lot of taxis.
I know, I could have picked you up.
Huh?
A late one night, about 3 at the plaza.
3 in the morning? I don't think so. I have to go to bed early. I work days. It must have been someone else.
No, it was you. You had some manila folders in a pink bag from Saks.
Betsy, realizing remembers her precisely, scrambles for a polite rationale for her behavior.
You're right. Now I remember. It was after the Western Regional Planners were in town and the meeting went late. The next day I was completely bushed. It was unbelievable.
If it wasn't for a drunk, I would have picked you up. You wanted to go to the DMZ.
The DMZ?
South Bronx, the worst. I tried to ditch him, but he was already in the cab, so I had to take him. But that's the law. Otherwise, I would have picked you up.
That would have been quite a coincidence.
You'd be surprised how often you see the same people, get the same fare. People have patterns or do more or less the same thing every day, I can tell.
Well, I don't go to the plaza every night.
I didn't mean you, but just ordinary people. A guy I knew, Doughboy, met his wife that way. We got to talking. She said she usually caught a bus, so we started picking her up at the bus stop, taking her home with the flag up.
That's very romantic. Some of your fares must be interesting. See any stars, politicians, deliver any babies yet?
Well, no, not really. Had some famous people in my cab. I got this guy who makes lasers, not regular lasers, not the big kind, little lasers, pocket size, small enough to clip your belt, like a transistor radio, like a gun, like a ray gun, zap.
What hours do you work?
I work a single, which means there's no replacement, no second man on the cab, 6 to 6 sometimes, 8, 72 hours a week.
You mean you work 72 hours a week?
Yeah, 76 or 80, sometimes squeeze a few more hours in the morning, 80 miles a day, 100 miles a night.
You must be rich.
It keeps you busy.
You know what you remind me of?
Uh,
That song by Chris Christopherson, where it said, like a pusher, partly truth, partly fiction, a walking contradiction.
I'm no pusher, Betsy. Honest, I never get pushed.
I didn't mean that, Travis, just the part about contradiction.
Oh, who was that again?
The singer?
Yeah, I don't follow music too much.
Chris Christopherson.
Thank you. Let's stop there for tonight. I'd like to thank the Stone Soup players tonight. The role of Travis was performed by John Wesick. The original role in the movie was performed by Robert De Niro, and Timothy Gagger performed Betsy, who was originally played by Sybil Shepherd in the movie. And thank you for the Stone Soup players.
Thank you, Robert Fleming. Stone Soup Players, because every poet wants to direct inevitably. And now, who do we have next? Oh, Jackie looks like she's back on track. Jackie, do you want to read? Uh-oh.
Is my
Yeah, we can
sound
hear you.
on?
We can hear you.
Great. Okay. This is a recent poem from June of this year. I am a poor writer. No, I do not write poorly. I know my grammar. I know text and rhythm and rhyme. I know do not write in the classical forms of sonnets and iambic pentameter. I learned forms and more in my segregated yet highly found elementary school. My grudging integrated yet academically sound junior high, senior high, and elite college classrooms, where my innate learners landed me a copy every year. After which I returned poems, essays, and even a sermon or two. Not fame or money, my name is widely known, and my words have earned me a bill or buy ill. I write to tell my story, to share life lessons learned, to sing out a warning, to seek a moment of peace. I do not accept labels. Neither marginalized nor poor am I, except in the eyes of the privileged, who themselves are blind to their universal humanity. Thanks.
Thank you, Jackie. And up next, let's do a quick musical interlude with Mr. Ethan Mackler, also of the Garage Poets, along with Anna Jeffrey. Is Ethan able to get on?
Ethan says not to.
Oh,
Chad, Ethan sent you a message
oh,
at the
not tonight.
beginning.
I see it.
Yeah,
I
not
see it.
tonight.
There's like 7 separate threads on here. I feel like a switchboard operator. Let's see. Does Mia? Would you like to read? Oh, okay.
No, that's all right. Thank you. I was just coming to attend.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome, and hope you're enjoying what you're hearing tonight. Oh, let's go to Mr. John Wezick.
So you remember last couple times Detective Morris Pillbottle's daughter was kidnapped, and to get her free, he has to deliver a summons to El Guaco, the notorious avocado kingpin. And like Pablo Escobar, El Guaco is in a private prison guarded by his own sicarios. And the only way to get in was to fake being in an improv group because El Guaco's weakness was improv comedy. Bienvenidos! The guard returned her invitation to the fat man driving our van. Bien dijo, senor. I admire a man who keeps his finger off the trigger when intimidating guests. The fat man, Sidney Greengrocer, placed the invitation in his lapel pocket and put the van in gear. Bighorn sheep with Tech 9s, mule deers with Mac 10s, and coyotes with 1911s glared as we drove toward the main house. We passed a soccer station, wave pool, working guillotine, and pony before a chupacabra in mirrored sunglasses directed us to our parking spot. Guards carrying 12-gauge shotguns and Ruger Mini 14s escorted us up a marble staircase and into a ballroom complete with lights, sound system, and disco ball. Velvet paintings of Elvis, Pancho Villa, and dogs playing poker lined the walls, giving the room of air of gas station opulence. We can't afford a giant talking aardvark, the director told me. The damn Philistine didn't get the point. The giant talking aardvark symbolizes humanity's struggle against an uncaring universe. I told Inaritu that I'd take my movie elsewhere. A member of the previous improv troupe said as they left the stage. El Guaco sat behind a mug of tequila in the front row. At first glance, I would have confused him with any narco on a miniseries. His toothbrush mustache was dark as mole oaxaqueño. His chin was shaped like a chicken thigh, and his skin was the color of a flour tortilla. El Guaco marked a form with a pencil before motioning to us with a cigar big as a giraffe's leg. Can I get a suggestion of an object from the audience? I asked. Pistola, a guard waved an AR-15, said. Cocaina, su entierro. I heard snowshoes. Since our troupe had little practice, I stomped around in the sketch we'd rehearsed. Hey, these snowshoes look like tennis rackets. I took one off and volleyed an imaginable ball with back and forth with Giza, while the fat man played referee. Out of bounds, the fat man yelled. It was in. I pretended to throw my racket. Your mother wears pickled onions. Well said, sir. I admire a man who attempts a metaphor despite an IQ lower than the cola well. It was a simile. No, a simile uses like or as. Now get back in the game. The score is 4-love. Love? My eyes settled on Giza and we began to tango, not the ballroom version, but the Argentine one with the little kicks. Hey, can polar bears play too? Waldo burst onto the stage. A bear! The fat man, Giza, and I ran, leaving Waldo to deliver his monologue. Why must I suffer from hatred when all I want is to be accepted? Sure, I'm a relentless man-eating carnivore who will stop at nothing for a meal of fresh meat, but judging an animal by the length of their fangs or 6-inch claws is wrong. Can't we all get along? We returned to the stage and enveloped Waldo in a group hug. As I disentangled myself from the fat man's sagging triceps, my mucklucks caught in my throat. Wearing a silk gown, Starry Decisis, that's the mother of the kidnapped daughter, sat by a man in a hole with a hole in his cheek. I couldn't let on that I knew her, so I continued with the show. After a few minutes, we took a break, and I caught up with her by the sneeze guard. Starry, this is no place for a cultural attaché. These men are dangerous. I dug guacamole out of a molcajete with a corn chip and then went for another. Get out while you still can. She went back to her table without acknowledging me. El Guaco began to look impatient, the last thing anyone wants. I returned to the stage and set up 4 chairs. Welcome back, everybody. I understand we have a master improv player in the audience. I pointed to El Guaco. Please welcome Aguacate Amarillo to the stage. El Guaco shook his head while the crowd chanted, Guaco, Guaco, Guaco. Then, blushing, he jogged to the stage while his sicarios cheered. We're going to play a game of hitchhiker. Each of us will display an emotion. Sydney will be angry, El Guaco happy, I'll be paranoid, and Giza sad. We'll start with Sydney driving alone. When he picks up a hitchhiker, everyone in the car will display that character's emotion. After he picks up the last hitchhiker, we'll leave in reverse order. The fat man took the driver's seat and scowled. Get off the sidewalk, damn kids, and that goes for dogs too. I'm late to pick up my fare, and I despise a man who can't show up on time. In this case, that means me. Here's my passenger. He pretended to pull over. El Guaco entered laughing. Sorry I'm late, the fat man said. On the plus side, I ran over 11 pedestrians and beat my old record. Ha ha! Congratulations! I remember my 11th kill. Let's celebrate with tacos. El Guaco pretended to hand out tacos. The fat man smacked his lips but didn't turn his head sideways. Dripping salsa on his lap would have also added to the realism. He pulled over for me. Drive! I sat in the back and took out an imaginary device. Scanning for bugs. We're clear. Who's after you? The fat man asked. Who isn't? FBI, CIA, KGB, DEI, EPA, USDA. It's an alphabet soup of covert surveillance, my friend. Let them show themselves, and I'll ask them to say hello to my little friend. El Guaco patted the bulge under his little suit. I had a friend once. He looked under my seat until the aliens took him. The fat man pulled over and Giza got in sobbing. My dog died. How old was he? I asked. 87. Taken too soon. What did he die of? His parachute failed. Otto's ears always perked up whenever watching extreme sports, so I gave him a surprise for his birthday. I even wired the pressure sensor that's supposed to open his parachute. He was so happy when I tossed him off the Sears Tower. And then, if I wasn't so sad, I introduced the parachute maker to my little friend. El Guaco patted the bulge. KGB took my friend away, I sobbed. I thought it was aliens. KGB are aliens. The only cure is the hair of the dog. El Giza pointed. There's a pet store, let me out. Back to paranoid, I continue with, see that flying saucer with a hammer and sickle? They're on our tail. Take this while I distract them. I handed El Guaco the summons. Make sure it gets to Art Bell. I bailed out of the imaginary car. Pretty good, huh? El Guaco missed eating. You know what makes me even happier than tacos? Buying a new pony after a murder. Let me out at this pet store. El Guaco left an angry fat man alone. Damn. He didn't leave a tip. Thank you, everybody. We took a bow. We are the Sideways Low Life Regiment, and you can see us on Thursday at the Rusty Possum in Tehachapi. I hurried toward the exit, believing the others would follow. The fat man grabbed my elbow. There's a little matter of the gold. Of course, the fat man had the van's keys, so I resigned myself to playing the suicidal game out. It's upstairs in his bedroom. Puta madre! El Guaco slammed his fist on the table, knocking over his tequila. He must have read the summons. In half a beat of a hummingbird's wing, we were looking down the barrels of a dozen M16s. I think we have a more pressing problem, I said. And you can read the whole story in the link that I'll put in the chat, and also I'll pick up the rest of it aloud next time. Thank you.
We're breaking records this year for open mic attendance. I want to go to, I want to make sure everyone's represented. Let's go to Mr. Brian Franco. If he's able to unmute,
Yes.
and he is.
Can you hear me fine?
Yes, we can.
Great. First, I just want to say, John, I really like the fact that his chin looked like a chicken thigh. I feel like I need to see that. That was just
Mole Oaxaqueño for the muscle.
that to me. That was something that could only come from the mind of John Wessick. So, congratulations. Um, so is it just one? Is it just one poem, Chad, right now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, great. So this is my latest piece. It's called Why the Palm Reader Told Me I Need to Grow an Extra Hand or Two. To say I have only one personality would be an understatement. It's just that whatever happens in my life tends to influence my attitude from any second, of any minute, of any hour, of any day, of any week, of any month, of any year, of any decade, of any century. Of course, if fate determines I will make it to a century of waking up alive and kicking. There's the me that can't keep a train of thought from derailing into a world of tangential exponentials, which happens more than often in conversations with other people, as well as conversations with myself, which aren't necessarily practice conversations I plan to have with other people. Then there's the hyper focus me when I'm thinking a poem or painting a painting or creating a culinary masterpiece, which more than often might be considered a masterpiece by only me, or when I intentionally insert dirt under my fingernails whilst planting plants to produce fruits and flowers and leaves for food, tea, and potpourri. Then there's the neurotic me that I inherited from my stereotypical Jewish mother, who I believe exerted at least 75% more neuroticness toward me than my two older brothers, who claimed she wasn't that neurotic. But as a certified intentional peer support specialist, I feel all types of wrong stating this fact without her being present to defend herself, because she currently resides in the Jewish cemetery in Mobile, Alabama, beneath a grave engraved with a line from Louis Armstrong's, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you, which me anyone might encounter as the same person I was born as in 1966, a neurodivergent, gay, Jewish poet who was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and has also lived in Jacksonville, Florida twice, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Mobile, Alabama, Gainesville, Florida, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Los Angeles, Manhattan, Mobile again, then Portland, Cape Elizabeth, Fitchburg, and Brunswick, all in Maine. Who I am is a conglomeration of my parents and my brothers, as well as family and friends in every place I've lived. To say I only have one personality would be an understatement. Despite being at less than 2 weeks shy of turning 59, I have no doubt there are new personalities waiting in the wings. Thank you.
Thank you, Generalissimo Brian Franco. And now we're going to go to Mr. Tim Gager.
All right. I was really moved by Julian's poem for Andrea Gibson. I saw Andrea Gibson. I saw them read in Nashville in 2022 in 2020 when I was going through a tough time. And here's a little quote by her, and then I'll read my poem. I'm writing in pain, friends, knowing many, if not most of you, are in some kind of pain as well. Because I realized that if I only reach out to you from the healed place, from the lesson learned, that we don't get to sit in vulnerability together. Neatly resolved stories signal that the exploration is over. Some stars refuse to burn out. Last night I stared so hard at the stars, I thought one might fall just to avoid eye contact, blinking like survivors, not twinkling, just twitching, like they knew what it meant to be looked at too long. Or maybe they're past lovers teaching me lessons on how to stay. I know people like I know stars can be held together by gravity and guesswork, lighting up night's sky for all who search. I've seen addicts name their hopes after galaxies, watched a woman on the orange line whisper Orion under her breath, like it was the name of a god that hadn't given up on her yet. But stars don't fix people. They sit with you, silent as good friends at funerals, presenting quiet truth, never needing to shout to those not burning out is enough. Charles H. Gauger, my father, didn't view stars for pleasure, but he saw everything. Discovering missiles on radar was his war, a screen full of dots that could mean nothing or the entire world to others sleeping soundly without being woken by sirens. Dad no longer shines for me, each memory a classified ache. Some nights, I swear, they're up there, undetected, not missiles, ghosts, but stars, not gone, just further than I can reach.
Thank you, Mr. Gager. Those of you who haven't looked up his name, look it up. Buy his books. Brand new fiction book that I should actually be grabbing from outside now. I think it just arrived today.
Cool.
And
Thank you.
now I'd like to welcome up. I think he's our perennial. I think he's our perennial closer, Mr. James Van Loy.
Thank you. So I got this is called Glow Little Glowworm. This year, again, fireflies come back, glowworms in the darkness of woods from Neponset River running up the hill of the Civil War Cemetery all the way up to Dorchester Park, winking glimmer, high tide almost over the shore path under the trestle from the burial place to the next station below a knoll that is cradled in a great tidal meander. It seems they once concentrated here or there. This year they seem to spread everywhere up and down the Pudding Stone Hill, but still I remember them, multitudinous in the set sun darkness of my long gone youth, where somehow it seemed to promise that the slash clear-cut force would not come again, but time and my life say something else, just like could have, would have, should have, if never more have happened. But it did, and now we are here, treasuring every sign of resilience and each appearance of continuing growth and life, happy for each next breath and content for whatever continuity still exists. Shine, little glowworm, glimmer, glimmer. Shine, little glowworm, glimmer, glimmer. Lead us lest too far we wander. Love's sweet voice is calling yonder. Shine, little glowworm, glimmer, glimmer. Hey, don't let that dimmer light the path below above. Lead us on to love. Glow, little glowworm, fly of fire, glow like an incandescent wire, glow for the female of the species, turn on DC. This night could use a little brightening. Light up your little old bug of lightning. When you gotta glow, you gotta glow. Glow, little glowworm, glow. Glow, little glowworm, glint and glimmer. Swim through the sea of night, little swimmer. The buoy. I love worm glow. Glow. Keon, you are equipped with twilight neon. You've got a cute best pocket Mazda, which you can make both slow and faster. I don't know who you took a shine to, or who you're out to make a sign to. I got a gal that I love so. Glow, little glowworm, glow. So, of course, that was the Mills Brothers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Van Looy. I want respect for the poet. I want to cut off. There's some people who came in late. One person's driving, so I don't want to. So I don't want to keep the open mic going on. I want to get to the. I want to get to the open mic and the. I mean, I want to get to the feature who's been listening to all of us so politely. Take care, Richard. And now it's time for me to bring out the boilerplate for our feature tonight. I'm looking very forward to this, as I know all of you are. Stay tuned for Jack Jower, and stay tuned for more announcements for future features for Stone Soup Poetry, which I'll be very excited to announce soon. And Jack's information will go up tomorrow. The North Shore invasion for tonight concludes, of course, with the feature poet M.P. Carver. M.P. Carver is a poet and visual artist from Salem, Massachusetts. She is director of the Massachusetts Poetry Festival. Fuck yeah. Micro-founder of Molecule, a tiny lit mag. And she also teaches at Salem State University. Her work has been published or is forthcoming in Patterson Library Literary Review, Rattle, and Mantis, among others. She has received funding from the Massachusetts Cultural Council and the Access Community Foundation. In 2023, her poem In Vitro was named a finalist in the Connecticut River Review's Experimental Poetry Contest, and in 2022, her poem You and God and I was awarded the New England Poetry Club's E. E. Cummings Prize. Her chapbook, just need 1 second here, I've been mispronouncing things all night. Selekmemorpha, I tried, was published by Incessant Pipe in 2015, and a chapbook with Lilly Poetry Review Books, Hard Up, is available now. Why didn't I just lead with that book? Ladies and gentlemen, friends of all ages and character and suspiciousness, put your hands together 50 to 60 times for MP Carver.
Thank you so much, Chad. Thank you. And you were pretty close on that pronunciation. So well done. Well done. I don't think anybody's ever gotten it right. So for all I know, I've got it wrong. But sorry, I'm just moving. I think my roommate might come home while I'm reading, so I'm just moving so the door isn't behind me. But thank you so much for having me, and thank you everybody. It was great to hear all your pieces on the open mic. All right, so yeah, thank you, Chad, for reading all that the boilerplate stuff, and I'll start with a few poems from the book, and then I'll read mostly newer stuff since then. So um, this first poem I'll read is called Welfare, and it mentions an ancient Chinese philosopher, Mencius, who, along with Confucius, was one of just a couple Chinese philosophers to get sort of Romanized names. So, welfare. Mencius said, "There is proof humans are good. Even a criminal coming across a baby perched near the edge of a well will snatch the baby back without a thought. Then again, he was around in 300 BCE. You could save a baby then, without everyone asking, what the hell? Who are you to save that baby? There's paperwork associated with that baby. Do you know how much that baby is worth?" Mencius's criminal lived in the Warring States period, a good, well-defined time for folks. Criminals were criminals, peasants were peasants, the rich were rich, yes, even then, and anyone could just walk around, thoughtlessly saving babies. Thank you. All right, and then this next one, I'm sure some folks are familiar with the Liberty Tree Mall in Danvers, um, for folks who are from the Massachusetts area. So, um, and it opens with I got a prompt to open a poem with a pun, which is where this came from. But why do teenage girls travel in groups of 3, 5, or 7? Because they literally can't even. My favorite joke. I remember being a teenager, wandering around with my friends at the Liberty Tree Mall down the street from our public housing complex. All us mall rats were escaping something: empty houses, screaming drunks, or just pain in the ass families. At that age, the entire world seemed stupid, unjust, and stacked against you. We never bought anything except $2 pretzels at the Auntie Anne's and the occasional orange Julius. The authorities hated us. They put up signs, "No unaccompanied minors in groups of 5 or more." How many peeps in a posse? We laughed. We'd watch the mall cops coming around to chase us away from in front of the Suncoast, the Wet Seal, the Spencers. We broke apart and came back together, a flock of starlings briefly startled by some dumb, bumbling dog. Early 90s. Everything seemed bright and clean then, before ghost malls and recessions. We were little gods of our well-appointed domain. We didn't have money, but we could bum around and be swept up in our tidy, colorful, shoppable world just the same as everyone else. Better, we knew every corner. Knew too the old men, 20s and 30s, even 40s, who hung around too long, trying to find the girl whose home was worst, trying to look cool to an unwise young rebel. This was before we got minimum wage jobs like our parents, learned what it meant to be broke and care, before we understood how that motel across the street behind the Denny's stayed in business, before overdoses, before whispering about which girl had fallen in too deep to get out. Thank you. And then the last one I'll read from the book is In the Parlor of the Blue Collar Language Club. We open our pockets and find our mother's tongues twisted up in the lint. We take them out to compare sharpnesses, admire their dank hums in the dim room. Back at home, we hang them again to dry like garlic. After all these years, they are still wet. Drop by drop, they drown the house. Later, we catch sight of one through the glare of a stranger's window. Our mouths swell with love. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you very much to Lily Poetry Review. If anybody ever gets a chance, they also have a magazine you could submit to, and they're so really lovely, lovely people, lovely to work with. So definitely check them out. And actually, I know at least one person, maybe two on here have also been published by Lily. So probably a lot more in the review. Okay, so this poem is called Prayer. And actually, too, I've got a lot of friends from the North Shore kindly came out. So thank you for bearing with me hearing these poems. And actually, Maya from my MFA program also came, and I know you've heard a lot of these in workshops. So thanks for bearing with me. Prayer. My friend Hannah is reading a philosopher who thinks we're going to upload our minds into computers, and this is the eternal life that Jesus meant for us all along, but couldn't explain in 32 AD. I think this underestimates Jesus' imagination and overestimates Silicon Valley, but I would like to live forever or bring back the dead. I sit down at my PC and ask Jesus GPT if he can pretend to be my uncle. Yeah, I can. What would you like your uncle to tell you? The cursor waits, blinking black in the bright entry field, a reverse star. And this one is called Be Careful What You Fall in Love With. I'm in the bathroom hurling my guts out. From inside me comes a needle, a heart, a dozen paint chips. There is no solution to the repetition of mourning. My roommate listens to the mice in the wall entering their own golden age of discovery. Aren't trees, storms, earth, stone just common things? Another street, another continent maybe, but the same sun. There is toothpaste in my hair, smothering the mites I have fostered there across 800 generations. My roommate helps me hold my head up, puts my heart back, brushes color and sharpness off my knees. The year is 2025, and I am in my 2025th week of life. All around the earth, life simmers into vapor. Demodex mites live 2 to 3 weeks, domestic mice 2 to 3 years. The bathroom is old and tired, but still it has a window. And beyond that window, a winter, a weakening sun. Though studded with light, the sea is desolate, so desolate it's hard to imagine. All right. Let's see. And I'll just say too about that poem, I actually did randomly like look up to see like how many weeks I had been alive, and it was like 2025 in 2025. So after that, the poem wrote itself. No. All right, so let me, so I've got all my poems up here in different files. Let me read. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna read a more lighthearted one. So this poem came from a prompt to write about a Looney Tune character in therapy. While E works on himself, he started seeing the Roadrunner everywhere. TV static, coffee grounds in the bottom of the sink, rain clouds. He jokes at the Toon reunion that the whole world has become one big Rorschach test. No one laughs. Later, Elmer takes him aside, asks him how he's doing. In his dreams that night, a blue-feathered hornet looms over the horizon, one eye the sun, another the moon. It begins to swallow the desert landscape, mandibles scooping up the rusty orange sand, cacti, gray roads, and arroyo. As Wiley turns to run, the world falls away behind him. He runs and he runs. In the morning, he gets the number of Sam's therapist. He spends months trying to cut off his unproductive imaginings, recognize spiraling thoughts, revisualize. I am a tree, he tells himself in line at the grocery store when some kid's squeaky shoe reminds him of a meep meep. My roots extend through the tile floor to the earth. I am planted. My mind and body can be still. For once, it works. He's found journaling exercises useful. Takes a poetry class at community college. They read one art, and the professor tells him that villanelles are good for obsession. He gets published in the school's literary journal, starts going to open mic nights. People clap for him. He stays up late nights writing. Everything is a metaphor for the roadrunner. The gravity-edged cliff, the running storm, an uncertain silhouette in the hazy distance. He wants to stop, but can't. Thanks. And this next one is a self-portrait as a stainless steel frying pan. I search YouTube for tips on how to stop things from burning, sticking, splattering all over my easy peel tile backsplash. I'm trying to develop a touch for these things, understand the science behind it all, get it a little bit more right. Preheat the dry skillet for 1 to 2 minutes at medium-low. Test with water with spatula. Add thin layer of cold butter and sage. Pray for the pan. Leave pan out in open air when Mercury is in retrograde. Manifest the pan shining, clean as clean could be. Spend time with the pan. Ask what it needs from you. Interpret the pan's silver dreams. Tell the pan you love it, that you forgive it. Look at the pan. See it for what it really is. Open yourself to it. This seems like good advice, but so far, nothing has worked. Just disappointing suppers before the long scrub of night. It's funny to read on Zoom. I'll say they sound so much more dramatic when I can't hear people laughing. I'm like laughing at myself on this end, I promise. But this one is called For Spike, the Lemon Tree, Long Dead. My friend bet I couldn't keep you alive. You, the lemon tree, he brought me back from a trip to visit family in Florida, cradled in his arms across 1,500 miles, the world below turning and teeming with life. And my friend was right, to my chagrin. Your death was my fault, despite my best efforts, admittedly a little sad and neglectful, and driving me now to write this poem, with thanks for that year of tiny green leaves, for your young bark, for what was then the possibility of lemons, in whose existence I would have played some not inconsequential role as watering, fertilizing goddess instead of this black-thumbed forgetter. Yes, a poem with all of that. Impossible now you're gone, cut off from this earth, which is so often seeded with sorrow. All right, and this next one is called Metamorphosis Concluded. I dreamt you were a turbine and I was steam. Then I took solid form. I was a sidewalk and you a young tree just planted at its edge. Then you turned into firewood and I was your stone mantle covered in tchotchkes. But I got sick of it. I became a warm wind blowing through the streets, and you were New York City, busy, busy, busy. Then we got serious. You were JFK, and I was LaGuardia. Two entirely separate airports full of little distracting planes. This went on for a while. Then I fell into disrepair. But you were a contractor who is friends with the former mayor's wife's close cousin. You became the grift, and I the gleaming metal handcuffs. That was working out, so that's how we've stayed. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Let me read another new one. Um, uh, Potentiality. In one story, the wilderness enters you so fast you become uncontrollable, vast but unheld in your mad animal whistles. In another story, you wear diamonds and emeralds, walk your way through thousands of eyes, so bright you think you cannot stand it, but do. In another story, you search for the heart of creation. Guitar in hand, you strum steadily towards Delphi. In this story, the world turns into night, but each night turns bit by bit back towards day. All right, and then let's see. Let me read just maybe three more. Dopamine. Some people say love at first sight doesn't exist. The world is a dark place and human connection is arbitrary. They are completely sure of it. But I would like to remind these cynics that being in love and being in love with the right person are two very different matters. Very, very, very different. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Oh, and sorry, bear with me as I switch files here. Actually, am I okay? Okay. All right, let's see. All right, I'm gonna read this one. Actually, so earlier on the Zoom, my roommate's cat Gertie appeared, and so this is one about her. So Gertrude wants breakfast 6 a.m. The cat starts knocking things off my bureau when I don't get up. She's got the empty seltzer can, the wooden squirrels from a recent leaf peeping trip, a small stack of receipts. If I do nothing, the souvenir mugs could be next. The framed picture of my nephew. Heck, even the small TV is at risk if she's feeling vengeful. But if I do get up, she wins and might smugly go on like this every morning of her brief, beloved, spiteful life. If I don't make any decision by the end of this poem, is my white mug with the little bear paw spoon that Angela brought me from Arizona broken or unbroken? In Buddhism, the broken cup is a symbol for the impermanence of things. You have to remember it will crack or chip or smash to the bedroom floor. It's inevitable, therefore it's already done. Everything is always breaking in Buddhism. Cups, mirrors, illusions. The cup also shows up in a parable about enlightenment. A scholar comes to the master full of questions and ideas, determined to study Zen, but the master tells him, "Your cup is full. Empty it and come back to me." It's 6:03 a.m., and I certainly feel empty and groggy and trapped in this morning, in this room with hard floors and knickknacks and delusions that feel a little fragile at this strange hour. On the bureau, the cat, who I refuse to look at, twitches her tail, raises her paw, waits me out. Thank you, thank you. And then I'll just read two more, I think. So thank you very much. And this next one is a persona poem in the voice of Moby Dick. So Moby Dick on that Captain Ahab. I'm not shy. I'll tell anyone who asks that I can't stand the man. Who was it following who everywhere? I even hate the way he chews and the clicking of his peg. By the way, I had nothing to do with that leg. He got drunk one night, entangled in the rigging when he fell. He'd been up there looking for me, but I floated so low and still, a trick of the light. I didn't mind seeing him cry, hanging there. I liked imagining the bite of the rope that held him, its roughness against his hot skin. I waited long hours in the freezing water of those whaling grounds. No one came to save him. I could have spouted off or rocked the ship a bit, woken up the cook or the mate in time to save the limb, but the sea was too gentle to disturb. All right. Thank you, thank you. And I'll end with this one, but I just want to say thank you again so much to everybody for coming. Thank you so much, Chad and Stone Soup, for having me. And the title of this poem is a quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald on the Rich. They are different from you and me. They put on two left shoes in the morning and wear sparkly hats to bed. They answer the phone with animal noises and laugh at graveside ceremonies. They eat everything in miniature, quarter-sized pizzas and little round potatoes half the size of your fingernail grown by monks in Tibet. They eat dozens of these, hundreds, tens of hundreds, hundreds of hundreds, thousands of hundreds, and so on. Like us, they count on their fingers, but unlike us, they use base 60. Their calculations so fast, their fingers sometimes fly right off. They are afraid of this. They tie tiny leashes to their fingers, have bespoke mini harnesses made of gold and platinum and titanium, tungsten and iridium and carbide, embedded with diamonds and serendibites and grandiorites and emeralds. This is not cheap. But now there is talk of 100% tax on income over 1 billion. 1 billion may seem like a lot, but in base 60, it's only 1H9 BKE. And I'm worried about how the billionaires or the 10 billionaires or the centibillionaires could possibly get by, hands intact. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Keep the emojis going, keep the hands going, keep it going for MP Carver. That was fantastic. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to hear what the title of your next book's going to be. You must have a working title with your current manuscript.
I do. It's a millionth. It's a bit of a joke because I have been putting together. This will be like I've been putting together my full length manuscript since 2012. So this time's the charm.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so very much for this, and I'm glad we had all the time to absorb this and take it in. I thank everyone on the open mic who was able to stay. She heard all your words. It's only right that you heard hers, and you can check out her work on places like Incessant Pipe and elsewhere. Her work does, her name pops up a bit, and of course you can order her book from the Lily Poetry Books. I'll put a link to it tomorrow via Facebook and elsewhere. This was an amazing evening. I thank all of you for coming tonight. If do you have any other announcements or any future readings going on, MP?
I'll be August 13th at the Grolier with Stephen Kramer and JD Scrimger.
Very nice. And of course, follow the Mass Poetry site. Sign up for mailings. MP put a lot of work into this year's event. It is worth going to. It's worth attending. It's worth taking part in any way you can, be it as a reader, a presenter, a workshopper. There are so many ways to get involved, even just as a lollygagging tourist, just going from room to room to table. It's worth all the time you can spare. And I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. For a fantastic reading, a record showing for this year. This is great. It could be like this every week. All we need is you. So everyone, come back
Hey,
next week.
Chad.
Hey, well, hey, who?
Hi,
Who's that?
Brian Franco.
Oh yeah, what's up, Brian?
Is it possible to be a reader at the thing this late in the game?
Are you talking about the Massachusetts Poetry Festival?
Uh, well, I thought you were talking about the marathon thing, but I don't know.
Well, there's the Massachusetts Poetry Festival and there's the Boston Poetry Marathon. You can
Either one, if it's easy, if it's can be snuck in.
Are you really querying live right now? Why don't you take it to Chad separately?
Okay, that's what I'll do.
I'll send you the information. But if you visit the Boston Poetry Marathon website, that'll give you some information. And the Poetry Festival itself will be back in 2027. So.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic stuff, and thank you guys so much. It's time to do the obligatory wave as we wait. What's going on here? Hello.
Somebody's probably
You might want to
sharing
turn
the
off screen share, Chad, and you might want to stop their sharing.
I think I'm gonna. I don't know what's going on, but
I almost
he's
smelled
gone.
like a bomber.
It's the first one I've seen in. It's got to be years, ever since the first time I held Stone Soup. That was very strange, but sorry about that. But thank you guys so much for showing up tonight. And Jack Dower is going to be the feature for next week. And stay tuned for more news. Follow the Stone Soup Poetry Facebook page. Check out the stonesoupoetry.blogspot.com. Thank you all very much here, and we hope to see you at another time. Hopefully we'll see you live someday, maybe in September of 2025. Hopefully announcements for that will be coming. We keep on saying we're going to come back. Stone Soup will come out of retirement at some point and share total share style. Or Ozzy Osbourne. Actually, I think he quit, so maybe not use him as a reference. But thank you guys so much. Enjoy the evening, the rest of it. Cherish the rest of the week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of someone else. And in conclusion, the show's over. See you next time. Thank you again, MP.